to Ontario on a beautiful late November morning. The temperature's been hovering just a little bit below freezing. We've got some snow on the ground, just a little skiff, and there's a little bit of snow coming down now as I look outside the window. It's a beautiful morning to be here in the workshop with a good fire on and the furnace. Couldn't be happier. Well, today, folks, we've got a really special project. We're going to add some lighted nocks to our crossbow bolts. Now, I could have gone to Canadian Tire or many other stores and I could have bought these bolts with the lighted knock installed, but being ever frugal, I saved $30 by using the bolts I have and purchasing these nocks, and I actually bought them direct from Excalibur. So today we're going to remove the existing aluminum nocks and we're going to install these. Then I'm hoping to go outside and sight in the crossbow again and make sure it's shooting in the same places it did prior to having lit nocks. First step is we have to remove the existing nocks out of these bolts. And I understand it's held in place with a low melting point adhesive. So I saw a gentleman on YouTube, I'm just copying him by the way, I don't want to take the credit for this, use a soldering iron, and he removed the copper tip that was in there and replaced it with an 832 machine screw. So I took an 832 machine screw, I ground the head down a little bit, I shortened it a little bit, I put it in here, and it's been heating up probably for 10 minutes now. Let's see if it melts this adhesive. I'm just going to apply pressure until it starts to move, and then hopefully it'll just pop off. Here we go. Slides right off. Oh, that was wonderful. Now I've got to unscrew that insert. I think I'm going to use my glove. There's one done. It's kind of fun to open up my old gun cleaning kit that I've had for over 50 years and pull out an old 30 caliber bore brush that I know I've had since I was a teenager, and that was 50 years ago. I blew it off with brake clean first, then hops number 9. I even hit it with a wire brush, a little stainless wire brush, to make sure it was clean, and blew it off again. So on these bolts I'm going to use a little bit of acetone. Push this brush in and out a couple times. And maybe I'll use the dry end of that Q-tip. And you know what? Looks pretty good to me. I'll just do the other 5 and then we'll get ready to glue in those lighted nocks or lit nocks, whatever they're called. On the back of the instructions on the package from Excalibur, talks about gluing in the insert first and then pressing in the knock. And they pull apart quite easy. So I'm going to glue these in the shafts all first, and then after it's cooled we'll press in the nocks. We've cleaned out the back end of the bolt, and I also sprayed down and wiped down the nocks. Now I've got the hot glue gun ready to go. And I thought the easiest way to do this would be to put some hot glue on a piece of wood, and I put some electrician's tape to make it just the right size, put the knock on it, and just put a little bit on. Because I don't know about you, but I have a tendency to put a little too much adhesive on things. And I even would like to put just the tiniest little bit inside. There we go. Let's put it together. And you know what? I was too slow. I can see the glue's already hardening. I'm going to have to warm these nocks up a little bit, I think. I'll find a better way of doing it. Faster way anyways. Okay, we're going to be a little quicker this time. Some hot glue. A little bit inside the bolt. Grab ourselves knock or an insert. Start it on the arrow and push it down. Ah, success. And we'll wipe the excess off. That was much easier that time. Well, we've got all the aluminum bushings glued in our shafts here. And we were afforded yet another rich learning opportunity. You sure don't want to take your time once you start handling that glue and the insert, because the temperature drops just enough for it to start to solidify, and I think you could be in trouble. Anyhow, they're all done. They're all seated all the way. I've cleaned off all the excess glue. Now we're going to put in these beacon inserts. Now the instructions say to align the on-off switch with one of the vanes. So that's what we will do. Start it in, align it, and then push it in. Done. Let's do the rest of them. Here we go with the final one. We line it up with a vane and we push it home. It amazes me how robust that technology is and yet how small it is. To think of the forces imparted on the back end of that knock when you pull the trigger and that bowstring accelerates from 0 to whatever speed it goes, slamming the back end of that, hitting that contacts, closing the contacts, lighting it up like that. And if there's a battery in there and conductors small enough that they don't add to the weight of the arrow, they don't change the balance, and it burns or lights like that for hours to help you find your arrow, that's amazing. Well, all that's left now is to go outside and shoot it. And before we do, I want to tell you what I'm going to use. I use dead meat broadheads. And dead meat broadheads have a practice broadhead that is supposed to fly just like a broadhead without opening. It doesn't cut your target all to pieces. And I've used it very successfully in the past. So I'll take this one out. You notice it's got a P and a T on the vanes. Practice and target. That way I won't use it when I'm hunting because it's going to take the most abuse. I'm going to take it outside and let's try it at 20, 30, 40, even 50 yards and see where it shoots. Every year when I put my bow away after turkey season, I take the string off and take the tension off the limbs. Well, I put the string back on maybe a week ago actually, and I haven't shot it since then. And as we just changed the tail end of these arrows and took out the nocks that were in there and put in beacon lighted nocks, I'm really curious to see where it's shooting in comparison to before. Here we go, 20 yards. That's amazing. I just love it. And wow, do I ever love that lighted lock or lighted knock. Here we go, 50 yards. Just love it. Oh my goodness. I'm a little bit to the left, but I don't know if that's the shooter. I'll take another couple shots and just make sure. And if so, I can make some pretty easy windage adjustments on the scope. Well folks, I've had a great day doing this. I'm really excited to be hunting with these beacon lighted nocks, and we'll see how they do for us. As always folks, thanks so much for watching. We look forward to seeing you again on Out of the House with Paul. Love it.